Expected. You can see civilians on the street watching and trying to figure out what's going on in there. As we said a moment ago, at about 8:20 a.m. this morning, and here comes the ambulance streaming down the street here in front of the Washington Navy Yard. The Pentagon is saying that 3 shots were fired at Building 197, which, as I said, is Naval Sea Systems Command Headquarters building. If you're familiar with this facility, 3,000 people work here, and there is a shelter-in-place order that has been given, and at least 1 injury confirmed at this point as we watch the ambulances pull up in front of the building. Obviously, this is of great concern. They are trying to figure out who this person is and locate this person. The report that came in a little while ago was that it was a male on the 4th floor of this building. And now you see a SWAT team vehicle pulling in here as well as they try to prepare for what may come next in this situation. And it is it's evolving.
You have to care for the wounded if there's one or even more than one. And also at the same time, this is an active scene if the shooter has not been accounted for. As that ambulance moves off to the left-hand side of your screen, we'll try and bring the map full screen a little bit in a moment here and give you a sense of the relativity for where this is in Washington. That's the shipyard, southeastern part of Washington, D.C. The small map on the right gives you a little bit of an idea as to where this is. It's right smack dab in the heart of our nation's capital, with the U.S. Capitol building up to the north and west about 2 miles based on the location for that screen. Peter Doocy is on scene. Peter, what do you see? How close are you?
Bill, we're as close as the police will let us get here, and I got to tell you, it is a pretty frightening scene right now. We pulled up, my photographer and I. It took us about 5 minutes to get here from the hill, and as soon as I opened the car door to step out on the sidewalk, a man in full military fatigues with a long gun went sprinting down the sidewalk. We're on a civilian street near the Navy Yard, and as soon as we stepped out, we saw that man running past. He was going somewhere in a hurry, and he disappeared behind some police line. We've got a coordinated response with officers from D.C. Metro. We've seen armored personnel carriers. We've seen multiple ambulances, although at this point we're told 1 injury confirmed. And again, we're as close as they'll let us get to that right now. But it is pretty chaotic here. There is as far as we can see, along the road to the Navy Yard, there are at least, I would say, close to a dozen fire trucks. They've all got the lights on. Again, we're trying to move our car. There are horns honking, sirens blaring, and guys, officers are driving as fast as they can. And right now, as we move the car, there's a man in full fatigues with a helmet. He's running with a long gun, and it looks like he's got his finger pretty close to the trigger, Bill.
Peter,
he's a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah, the report we're getting is this started at 8:20 Eastern time, which would have been about 50 minutes ago. Do you get a sense of how busy that area is on a Monday morning between 8 and 9 a.m.?
It's busy, Bill. We know that in the building where the shooting took place, there are 3,000 people right now that work there who are sheltering in place. But if this did start 50 minutes ago, which is what all the reports we have received are, they certainly do not have a full handle on the situation right now because, again, it is frantic right now. It is. Things are frantic. People are running full steam in many different directions. It's not a situation like you see in a lot of breaking news things where everyone is running in one direction. People are running all over the place. And right now in the distance, I'm looking at what appears to be some kind of an armored, I can't tell which agency it's with, but it is an all-black armored vehicle that's being escorted by probably a half a dozen police cars. And again, now it is in place near where the most action seems to be with fire trucks and ambulances and police cars. But this is something that you do not like to see, rush hour on a Monday morning, men in full fatigue with long guns running down a civilian street. And again, I've seen one running up the street one way and one running the other way. So whatever is happening right now, this is an active situation.
Understood.
And
Peter, we are looking at
we're
looking at a parking lot in the near ground, and there are cars there, several of them, and there's a large red brick building in the background.
Right. So
Is that
I'm
your
standing
view too?
Yes, I'm standing in the back corner of that parking lot, and again, we're seeing it's almost like you would see with a presidential motorcade with a lot of men on motorcycles with the sirens going, except they are going fast, and they are trying to get us back as far away as they can. But as every minute, we're seeing multiple different agencies responding. They've all got the sirens on. Everybody that you can think of is here. And now, in the back corner, there are a lot of bystanders coming here, including some in military uniform, people who would work here at the Navy Yard, and they want to know what's going on. But whatever it is, this is tense. It is pretty chaotic right now, Bill.
Peter, it's Martha here, and just for everybody who's tuning in, what we are watching is the Washington Navy Yard, where this morning there was a report of 3 shots fired. And from everything that we can gather from here, from our sources and on Twitter, Peter, and all of the other outlets that we're looking at right now, this continues to be an active situation. The way that you're describing it sounds like they're not sure exactly where this might be coming from or what areas they might need to cover at this point. Is that accurate?
That's perfectly accurate, Martha. It is something where driving in, as we were coming closer, there were a lot of that we saw multiple different ambulances, motorcycles, and police cruisers whizzing by us as fast as they could. They were honking their horns. They were trying to get here as fast as they could. And while it does appear that they have one street, this would be M Street that runs alongside the Navy Yard. If you are looking at the map, M Street is where the most police activity, fire activity, ambulance activity is right now. But the entire area around, we've got officers going in all different directions. Right now I'm looking at some people on their way to work, and an unmarked car with sirens blaring is just weaving in and out. There are people walking, there are people driving, and in the middle of it, these officers are responding. They're trying to figure out where this active shooter is. It is very scary.
So, Peter, give everybody a sense. We're looking at a map on the right-hand side of the screen here, which shows the Washington Navy Yard. Give folks at home and across the country a sense of where this is in relationship to the Capitol, the White House.
Well, our office, our Washington bureau, Martha, it took us about 7 or 8 minutes to drive here. And so we're right near the Capitol. So if I wasn't obstructed by a big building here on the right of this parking lot, I would be able to see the Capitol. I can see the Washington Monument. There's a lot of residential stuff around here. We're not too far away from where the Washington Nationals play, Washington Nationals baseball. And again, the area really, what appears to be, and it's also very scary looking right now on a Monday, all the police activity is sandwiched in between the Navy Yard buildings and a playground. So, again, we don't know what the scene was here almost an hour ago, but there would have been a lot of people out and about. As you guys know, the Washington Naval Yard is where the chief of naval operations are. It is the ceremonial, it is the administrative center of the Navy right here on Anacostia. Now we've got more officers responding now on bicycles, and they're going as fast as they can toward, I can't see exactly what it is, but there is a big sign for parking. I can't tell if there's a garage over there or what, but again, officers are coming now behind me and in the distance. They are going real fast, and they are trying to find this active shooter, but it really you get a sense right now that they're trying to get it done as fast as possible, but they really are desperate to find this person if they haven't already.
I mean, the early reports were that these 3 shots were fired at Building 197, which is the Naval Sea Systems Command Headquarters building. And as we've mentioned, 3,000 people work in this facility. It's a historic place, the oldest naval yard in the country, I believe, in Washington, D.C. And you can hear the sirens. You can hear the tension of what's going on this scene here this morning.
And Martha and Bill, again, we do at this point only have the reports of that one injury, but as I look down at the scene, We've got 2 additional ambulances coming in with police escorts. They got to that building 197, or what we believe to be as close to that building as possible, and they were rushing to get there. So that's at least 2 additional ambulances that just came in